Whether you have one email account or 10, a couple PCs in your home, or an entire server farm in your garage, keeping your passwords straight is always a challenge. Today, we're going to talk about your login credentials, what you're probably doing wrong, and what best practices you should be following. Welcome back to Craft Computing, everyone. As always, I'm Jeff. Everyone has their own way of managing passwords. Some people use the same password for everything. Sometimes it's a sticky note on your monitor or under your keyboard. Other times it's a notebook in the desk drawer or a shared Google Doc between spouses. If you heard me mention your password management system just now, you're probably doing it wrong. And doing it wrong can lead not only to frustration when trying to log into websites, but also to financial losses if certain accounts are breached. Before we get into it today, I do want to send a huge thank you to NordPass for sponsoring this video. Visit nordpass.com/craft and download NordPass for free. Again, that's nordpass.com/craft. Now, let's get down to business. In 2019, there was a data breach released to the public that contained 773 million email addresses and more than 21 million passwords from over 2,000 sources. There are two alarming facts you can pull out of just that one sentence. First, just about every major site has been compromised at some point. And of the 773 million email addresses, there were only 21 million unique passwords. While it is important to follow best practices for creating a password, it's equally important to only use that one password for a single account. It doesn't matter how many numbers, exclamation points, or dollar signs your password has. Once it's been leaked, it's useless to you anyway. And while most people would think it's no big deal if your GameSalad, Adobe, Kickstarter, Ticketfly account credentials are leaked, because there's nothing important on those anyway. That is, unless the same password opens up your email account, or your bank account. As stupid as it might sound, your email account security should always be your number one priority. Why? Because it's often the tool that can be exploited to open up just about any other account you have. If you forget your password on a random website, most of the time the process of recovering that password is to have the site send you an email with a password reset link. And if a malicious third party is the one with access to your email, it's pretty much game over for any account associated with that email address. Most people maintain more than a single email account, whether it's for work, school, or personal use, and each of these accounts needs to be protected with a completely unique password. And I'm not just talking putting a different symbol onto the end of your daughter's middle name and the year you graduated high school. I'm talking about a certifiably different and unique password for each of your accounts. This is where a password manager like NordPass can help. A unique password is only effective if you remember what it is. So take the guesswork out and let NordPass remember them for you. With clients available for every device you use, including every major web browser, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, and yes, even Linux, you'll never have to lift up your keyboard again to check the sticky note you keep underneath it. The best part is, if all you want is a password manager, using NordPass is completely free. Just head on over to nordpass.com/craft, download the client of your choosing, and set up a master password. This is the password that will let you into your NordPass password notebook, and should be the only password you need to remember from here on out. Using the browser extensions, anytime you enter a username and password into a website, NordPass will ask you if you want to save it for future use. However, just because NordPass can save your password doesn't mean you're using a good one, which is why you also have the ability to generate a random password. There are also a couple premium features that are worth talking about. Nord has the ability to critique the passwords you have saved, warning you if they're too short or too simple. Just fire up the password health feature, and Nord will make sure all of your passwords are both unique and set up to proper security best practices. Now, I'm assuming if you're still watching this, you're thinking about your own password management and how you're probably doing it wrong. Remember that just because you start using a password manager, it doesn't immediately make all of your passwords secure. When you're logging into your accounts and beginning to catalog your credentials inside NordPass, take the time to change your passwords while you're at it. If you can't decide on a secure password, don't worry about it. Remember, NordPass can generate passwords to just about any specification. Just pick the length you need the password to be and which characters are valid on the site, and NordPass will take it from there. With your fancy new password manager all set up, and if you made sure to follow best practices when setting up your passwords, your accounts should now be more secure than ever. Of course, your password library is only as secure as the password manager itself. And as any lockpicking lawyer fan will tell you, your valuables are only as secure as the lock that protects them. There's no point in locking all of your keys in a lockbox if that lockbox only has a wafer lock on it. Thankfully, NordPass understands that as well, and underwent a full security audit by Cure 53 back in March of this year. This included a review of their cryptography key management, a penetration test into the desktop applications, mobile applications, and browser extensions, as well as a complete audit of the source code behind NordPass. Cure 53 stated they were, quote, impressed with the efforts that NordPass team put into minimizing the attack surface, which has clearly been a notable priority. And remember those security breaches I mentioned at the beginning of the video? NordPass's data breach scanner will automatically alert you if your account credentials show up in one of these dumps, and let you know which passwords need to be changed. One of the features I like most inside NordPass is actually the ability to store important information other than passwords. There are common fields for things like credit card numbers or personal contact info. There's also a secure notes category, which allows you to organize important information any way you'd like. If you're like me, you also have a hard time remembering your wife's social security number or your daughter's health insurance account number. And since NordPass is available in a mobile app, I no longer have to carry those cards around with me or write down the numbers on a piece of paper and stick them in my pocket when I know I'm going to need to reference them. Another use case that comes up all the time is, how do I share a password with someone else? Well, instead of texting everyone you know your Disney Plus password so they can binge watch The Mandalorian, you can share it securely with other NordPass users. And if you ever have to update the password, they will automatically have access to the most recent one. And for those of us who run server stacks at home, in my case hosting multiple virtual machines for friends, family, and the occasional business, it's a great way to track credentials and share them out to the people who need access to them. So, what did we learn today? It's important to create strong passwords to help keep your accounts protected. Use unique passwords for any account that contains either financial information or can be used to unlock other accounts. If you typed your credit card number into a website, it probably deserves its own password. And just because you use a secure password doesn't mean you're properly protected if that password is shared between multiple accounts. Once again, a huge thank you goes out to NordPass for sponsoring this video. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can download it for free at nordpass.com/craft. They also have a ton of extras available in their premium subscription, with tools like Password Health Check and Data Breach Scanner included, as well as password sharing between other members. Get started today by going to nordpass.com/craft or clicking the link down in the video description. On your way down there, make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Beer for today is from Oakshire Brewing. It is their Ill-Tempered Gnome Winter Ale. 6.8%. Oakshire Seasonal Release. This American brown ale is an Oakshire original. We combine toasty dark malts with resinous hops, creating a perfect winter ale to soothe your ill-tempered gnome. To me, brown ale doesn't really speak winter ale, but let's give it a shot. It's a pretty good brown ale. I don't really think winter ale when I drink this, though. It's not taking me to some place cold and snowy and sitting around the fireplace. To me, this is a brown ale. It's hoppy with a little bit more intense malt. Yeah, I'm not getting, fireplace and snow and Christmas trees out of this. I'm getting it's a late fall day and I'm sitting on the porch in 55-degree weather, wondering if I need to mow the lawn one more time or just let winter have it. To be clear, this is a pretty good brown ale, but it's way too hoppy for me to be a winter ale. I'm officially renaming this beer. I present to you the Oakshire Ill-Tempered Gnome Brown IPA. Manage your expectations accordingly. Now, let's get down to business. In 2019, there was a data breach released to the public that contained 700... Would you stop it? Hey! Hey! That is my Jack Sparrow hat. Yeah, that's mine, not yours. Thank you.